So whichever case in which I have been a scientist, computer scientist first, in which I still am the best quality assurance tester from Microsoft. I am the best end user because I presented, you know, I presented pretty much all the flaws within the operating system, and that's exactly why they code it like that. They code it with, they release it with flaws, so you have end users, and you have quality assurance testers from the tech industry who goes in and presents the issue and presents the fixes. For I've done that on Mitch's Tech Insight. I had I still have and have had a giant rapport with the giant tech, with the big tech companies, right? So I have rapport with Microsoft, Apple, for I found about a dozen fixes with Apple products as well. Now Apple completely tests and thoroughly tests their product before they release it, so they don't really have an end user license agreement, just like as Microsoft does. However, I've gained rapport with Apple by presenting quite a few problems with the software, and they fixed it. So, and with that being said, such as Microsoft, I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing with the banks. I locked down their security, and PayPal as well. For I tested things and helped them succeed with their security. So good people and safe people, and non-criminals can't steal. So whichever case this falls, I was a computer scientist first, and now I'm also a computer scientist and a physicist and a chemist, right? I changed my body and brain chemistry to essentially better myself every day. I'm growing every day, bettering myself every day. Now, with that being said, for the case of the matter, I learned how to combat the abuse in which I've been experiencing. I've been experiencing false blame within Rhode Island for a very long time. With that being said, I combated it with, information in which people know nothing about. So, it's non-verifiable sources. I'm the only one in the state who told the truth, and when I didn't, it was to protect myself, right? So, with that being said, a lot of people have been aiming at me for a long time, especially when I became homeless on June 1st of 2025. That's when I started to be homeless. And what I noticed when I was first out on the street is, I was being attacked left and right. I was being tormented by Rhode Island, and I literally became crippled. I literally was sitting down, and I essentially passed out from shock. I went into a coma. Now, legally, that you're legally pronounced dead in a coma. And I turned into a vegetable, right? So, but little do people know, you can still hear when you're in a coma. So I heard people laughing, and they presented their intent of, they wanted me dead. And they're like, we respect you for putting up a big fight. I'm still alive, dude. That was a year ago. I'm still here, dude. I don't deserve to die, so I don't know why the fuck you're laughing. Anyways, I woke up right when they started laughing. I'm like, okay, now you restarted my heart. Now you restarted my body. Now I'm back in action. And I've been pissed ever since. No, I'm finally starting to calm down. As you can see, the neighbors shut the fuck up. The whole property shut the fuck up. And with that being said, I am not a criminal. I'm the furthest thing from a criminal. Now, criminals are disrespected. Understood. But I am the furthest thing from a criminal there is. I was never supposed to be guilty. And I'm not. I'm still not. I'm a saint. And I'm not the only saint in the world. For saints are literally my customers. And also, jealousy doesn't concern me. And also, you want to hear something truly remarkable? Those who step on me the same way I got stepped on when I was sitting at Cumberland Farms and in East Greenwich there, after the same in June last year. Essentially, for the case of the matter, I came up with a psychological question which forces self-reflection and gets the beef to stop, immediately. So, I present them with they make a very, demeaning comment when I'm out here, and I'm just like, okay, well, what is the case in which is relevant to my forward direction to your stationary? And because it's such an interesting question, it forces self-reflection, for which the case, the question, what is relevant to the occurrence, is supposed to do, but apparently they weren't smart enough to answer that one for themselves. So I expanded on it. And then I spent a couple days doing that. And then last night I was sitting out here, I just finished putting water on my face, water on my head, and I was sitting here drinking water and smoking my cigarette, and I was against that box right there. And I was like, and someone made a comment, and I was like, wait a minute. And it just came to me, and I'm like, okay, who said what? I expand. It was a little bit more than that. It's like I used what they said. So say they said, Mitch, your life is over. Mitch, your life is over. And I was like, who said whose life is over? Right? And that's like, and it hit me. I'm like, that's a variant of the same question. I'm like, that's a variant of the complex question that, but it does something different for the person answering the question. For the complex question, for in which case, what is relevant to my forward movement to your stationary, which gets them to think. When you ask a question like, who is meant to die? When they say I'm meant to die, or I'm meant to be guilty, who is meant to be guilty for what reason? And instead of them thinking about it, they feel it. So they operate off of instinctual. Instead of, the thought process coming first, the emotion comes first. They know what they're doing, and they don't care what they're doing. It is the problem. So it's like, false blame is what I've been receiving. I made $4,000 a month on eBay simply by getting a piece of the pie on the, paying off from the way I helped Microsoft and Apple. And I was allowed to do so for that reason. And, I stayed in my own lane, and I bought things for myself, and I treated myself. I was able to buy my own cigarettes. I was able to buy my own food. I was able to, buy toys. I bought go-karts. I bought, ATVs. And it's like I was able to enjoy myself for the first time in my life. And then my family got jealous of that because they wanted me to teach what I was doing, but it took several years. I'm not gonna do the work for you for that, for in which that's your job to do your work for yourself. I'm not gonna sit here and teach you that. For whatever reason it occurs, right? For whatever reason it occurs, for whatever it means for you. I don't deserve, this. I didn't deserve to get my life ripped out from underneath of me. I didn't deserve to have to restart about several times since, 2020. And rest in peace to my father, but my father didn't survive what you guys put me through. The fact that you removed my love for what I was doing, you removed my father's love as well, because I had to focus more on my life than I could spend time with my father. And he succumbed to what you put me through. So it's like, this is completely unfairness. And at the same time, I'm going to get back on eBay, and I can. For that is my right and my ability. For this only state in Rhode Island. This is the only video I'm releasing today, other than the video that I made yesterday before it started raining of me playing guitar. That's go check that one out too. That's it's a rough draft, obviously, as I didn't finish the song, but I did the intro, the verse, chorus, and then that's it. So check that one out. It's called Know Me. Now, I did a play on words. It's supposed to be K-N-O-W, as in like knowledge, like know me, get to learn me. But I instead of doing know me, like K-N-O-W, learn, get to learn me, get to know me. I use N-O me, which a lot of people have been trying to take my life. So it's like, know me. So like, essentially, because you tried to take my life, I removed myself from you, and I created distance. In other words, point proven. And then it's like, what the fuck? For whatever case it occurs, many men Many, 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 many men wish death upon me. Have mercy on my soul. Have mercy on me. Hey. Okay, that's it.